Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that is honestly one of the wildest and most complicated ones I've covered in a while. The Eugenia Cooney TikTok lawsuit. Yep, Eugenia's name has officially appeared in legal filings, connected to a massive court case against TikTok, and it is raising serious questions about how platforms use creators, how algorithms handle sensitive content, and where responsibility really begins and ends. Stick around because this isn't a gossip piece. We're going to unpack the actual court filings, what's being alleged, what's verified, and what might be coming next. Let's get into it. If you've followed YouTube for a while, you already know Eugenia Cooney. She's been a creator since the early 2010s, known for her gothic aesthetic, cosplay, and upbeat personality. But for years, she's also been surrounded by concern over her health and visible thinness. Her videos, while mostly positive in tone, have often sparked debate, especially about how platforms handle content that might relate to eating disorders or body image struggles. Over the years, both fans and critics have asked why platforms like YouTube and TikTok keep recommending her videos to young audiences, especially when those videos could be triggering for some viewers. Fast forward to 2025, and her name is now part of a federal lawsuit about how social media companies affect mental health. So here's what's happening legally. There is a huge case in California called in Ray, Social Media Adolescent Addiction and Personal Injury Products Liability Litigation, or NDL 3047 for short. This case combines hundreds of lawsuits from families all over the US who claim that apps like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube were designed to be addictive and harmful to minors. The plaintiffs argue that these companies' algorithms knowingly kept kids hooked, even when the content could contribute to mental health problems like anxiety, depression, or eating disorders. Now, here's where Eugenia comes in. Her name appeared in Discovery Motions connected to TikTok. According to Law 360, a federal judge ordered TikTok to produce documents related to Eugenia Cooney. Lawyers representing the plaintiffs requested records showing whether TikTok had any kind of influencer relationship with her, meaning if she was ever part of events, paid promotions, or content-boosting programs. Why? Because they claim TikTok might have promoted or profited from content featuring a visibly unhealthy creator, even while knowing that this type of content could harm younger users watching it. It's not that Eugenia is personally being sued. She's not a defendant. But she is a major example in the argument that TikTok's algorithm pushes certain content, regardless of potential harm. So this discovery order basically forces TikTok to hand over emails, contracts, and internal communications about Eugenia's content and how it was promoted. This doesn't mean Eugenia is accused of doing anything wrong. It means she has become a case study, an example that lawyers are using to show how TikTok may have ignored red flags. Think of it like this: if a platform continues to boost or feature someone whose content could be considered dangerous to vulnerable users, the legal question becomes, did they know? And did they profit anyway? That's why her name is popping up in these filings. The plaintiffs want to prove that TikTok prioritized engagement, even if that meant exposing minors to content linked with disordered eating imagery. For TikTok, the stakes are huge. This isn't just about one creator. It is about whether social media companies have a duty to protect their users from psychologically harmful content. The larger lawsuit, MDL 3047, goes way beyond Eugenia. It includes cases from parents who lost children to suicide, teens hospitalized for eating disorders, and families who say social media addiction destroyed their mental health. Their attorneys argue that apps like TikTok are essentially products, and that those products are defective because they cause addiction and emotional injury. If the courts accept that argument, it could set a massive precedent. Social media companies might be held liable the same way tobacco or pharmaceutical companies. Well, in the past, Eugenia's situation just highlights how blurred the lines are between entertainment, expression, and exposure. Now, Eugenia herself hasn't publicly commented on this discovery order, at least not yet. Her social media has been relatively quiet in recent months, and she's reportedly faced several health scares that caused even more concern from fans. Online, reactions are mixed. Some people believe she is being unfairly dragged into a lawsuit that is really about corporate responsibility, not about her personally. Others think her inclusion shows how serious the courts are about examining real-world examples of content that can be criminal or exploitative. It's a tough situation because on one hand, Eugenia's an adult and has the right to express herself. On the other, her content has clearly influenced how younger audiences view body image. And TikTok's algorithm doesn't always make that distinction. So, what's next? Right now, the case is still in the discovery phase, which means lawyers are gathering evidence before a full trial. TikTok has to comply with the court order, and those documents will likely reveal whether the platform had any direct partnerships or internal discussions about Eugenia's content. If the plaintiffs find evidence that TikTok knowingly promoted harmful material, it could change how all social media platforms manage content and influencers moving forward. So, to sum it up, no, Eugenia Cooney isn't being sued. But yes, her name has become a major part of a landmark case that could reshape the future of social media. This isn't about cancelling anyone, it's about accountability, algorithm design, and how much power platforms really have over what we see and how we feel. What do you think? Should TikTok and other apps be responsible for how their algorithms affect users? Drop your thoughts below. I read every comment. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll be following this case closely and updating you when new filings come out. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.